In The Secret Doctrine, Helena Blavatsky presents the mathematical constant pi not merely as a geometric ratio, but as a fundamental key to the mystery of creation and the limitation of the manifested universe. According to her commentary on stanza 5, shloka 6, the numbers 3, 1, 4, 1, 5 are encoded in the geometric figures used by the Lipika, cosmic recorders, to define the ring past naught, 1. The geometric cipher, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5. Blavatsky translates the seemingly abstract geometric language of the stanzas directly into numerical values to derive pi. The triangle represents the number 3, the triad, spirit. The first one represents the number 1, the vertical line, the ray. The cube represents the number 4, the quaternary, matter, the square. The second one represents the number 1. The pentacle represents the number 5, the pentagram, mind, manas. When placed in sequence, these figures yield 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, which corresponds to pi, 3.14115. By circumscribing these figures, the Lipika are effectively applying this ratio to establish the boundaries of the cosmos. 2. The metaphysics of the ratio. In theosophical geometry, pi represents the tension between the diameter and the circumference. The diameter represents the one, the divine ray, or the spirit that cuts across the void. It is the absolute, unmanifested principle. The circumference represents the many, the ring past naught, or the boundary of the manifested universe. It is the field of time, space, and illusion, Maya. 3. The impossibility of squaring the circle. Blavatsky alludes to the mathematical fact that pi is an irrational number, infinite and non-repeating. To symbolize a profound spiritual truth, the circle, matter, universe, can never be perfectly squared, resolved back into spirit, while on the plane of manifestation. There is always a remainder, a driving force of evolution that keeps the cycle turning. The ring past naught, defined by pi, ensures that the finite universe remains distinct from the infinite absolute until the great day be with us, when the circle is finally resolved and the illusion of separateness ends. The value of pi is the factor that translates the 1, diameter, into the many, circumference. It signifies that for the spirit to manifest as a universe, it must be encircled or limited by this transcendental ratio. The universe is thus a circle of necessity, generated by the expansion of the one through the law of pi. At this point, I am going to play an audio that I had included in my previous video. Your consciousness has its limits. For those that have not heard it, here it is. It may help you catch up to speed. I need to make it perfectly clear that this is not new information. It is something that science did not discover. The information, like all occult spiritual science, is passed down, and sometimes only orally. It is information, like all secreted information, only that which has been allowed to the public. Such knowledge has been known since the dawn of mankind. The ring past naught is only one subject.
All right, so for today's deep dive, we're tackling a really central paradox in Blavatsky's work. How can a totally boundless, infinite source, what she calls para-Brahman, how does that create a finite, structured universe without stopping being infinite?
It's a fundamental problem, really, a real cosmic riddle.
It is. And her answer is this concept called the ring past naught, the RPN. And this isn't a physical wall out there at the edge of space. It's more of a cognitive horizon.
A state of consciousness, yeah. It separates the world of illusion, Maya, from the absolute reality set.
Exactly. So our mission is to unpack this. Who or what created this boundary?
And this is the amazing part. Well, the surprising mathematical key is actually encoded right into its very structure.
Okay, so let's start there. If the ring past naught is the architectural limit of our reality, who are the architects?
The credit goes to these beings called the Lipica.
The Lipica.
Yeah, their name literally means to write. They're the scribes of the universe, the recorders of karma.
So they're like the cosmic auditors, not the construction crew.
Perfect way to put it. They aren't the builders who work with matter. The Lipica hold the plan. They draw the lines.
And what's the purpose of that line? Why enforce this barrier in the first place?
It's absolutely critical for evolution. They circumscribe the manifested world to create a protected field.
A protected field for what?
For you, for individual consciousness. Think about it. If the drop of your consciousness was just open to the infinite ocean.
It would just dissolve instantly.
Instantly. No time to develop self-awareness. So the RPN is the guardian of individuality. It gives you the space to become you.
It's the protective bubble needed for growth. But here's the really wild part. This abstract idea has a precise geometric formula hidden in the stanzas of Zion.
It does. I mean, it's incredibly specific. The source material says the Lipica trace 3 key figures inside the cosmic egg as it manifests.
Right. Okay, so we have the triangle, which is a 3. That represents spirit.
Then the cube, which is a 4. That's matter, the physical universe.
And finally, the pentacle, a 5, which stands for humanity, or mind, manus. The pivot between the other two.
Exactly. So you've got the sequence, 3, 4, 5.
But the formula given isn't just 3, 4, 5. It inserts this other concept, the one life, the ray of spirit that initiates everything.
And that's the key. So you take your triangle 3, you interpose the one life 1.
Then you have the cube 4, and you interpose the one life again.
And then the pentacle 5.
Yeah.
So you get 3.14, 5.
3.1415. It's pi.
Wow.
The mathematical constant pi is the esoteric key to the whole structure. It's the ratio of a circle circumference
The ring past, not the boundary.
to its diameter, the one life cutting through it. The entire universe is a circle of necessity governed by this transcendental number.
And that barrier isn't just cosmic. You mentioned it's fractal. It applies right down to the individual.
Yes, on the human level, it's the auric egg, that magnetic field that protects your personality.
And psychologically, it's that feeling of being separate, the delusion of separateness that our mind creates. A necessary delusion. It's the incubator the soul needs to build a strong sense of self. But, and this is the big but, it is not eternal. It only lasts for the great cycle of manifestation, the Manvantara.
Okay, so a cycle has to end. What happens when the scribes, the Lipica, finally lift that ring?
The barrier dissolves. On what the texts call the great day be with us, the end of the age of Brahma.
And that leads to?
Not just nirvana, which is a state of blissful rest. It leads to parinirvana, beyond nirvana. It's where even the highest, most evolved spiritual beings finally merge completely back into the absolute.
So to bring this all home for you listening, the ring past naught, this boundary enforced by cosmic scribes and literally defined by pi, is the temporary prison of matter that allows consciousness to become self-aware.
And here's the final thought to leave you with. That barrier isn't meant to be broken from the outside with some kind of force. It's designed to be dissolved from the inside by the expansive power of a consciousness that has finally realized it is, and always was, the absolute itself.
Remember, everything on the inside of the ring is illusion. It is impure. Everything on the other side of the ring is pure and absolute. So, since we are functioning in an illusion, even our thoughts are inaccurate, because we are thinking inside an illusion. Here is how Blavatsky and later theosophical commentators break down this poisoned condition of the mind. 1. The separation of the pure from the impure. The specific function of the Lipica, the cosmic recorders, in tracing the ring past naught, is to separate the world, or plane, of pure spirit from that of matter. Blavatsky explicitly states that by tracing this ring, they separate reality from illusion and protect the pure from the impure. Therefore, simply by existing within the ring, our consciousness is technically in a state of impurity, because it is mixed with matter and subject to the illusions of time and space. Time and space exist only inside the ring. 2. The illness is separateness. It is what Theosophy calls the great heresy, or the Adavada, the delusion of separateness. The barrier. The ring past not is defined as the frontier of consciousness for those who are still under the sway of the delusion of separateness. The poison. Because the mind is confined within this ring, it identifies with the isolated, personal form, the ego, rather than the universal self. This false identification is the root of all spiritual ignorance and suffering. The lower mind, kama manas, becomes the slayer of the real because it interprets the universe as a collection of fragmented, separate parts rather than a unified whole. 3. The divine spark in quarantine. The divine spark, monad, is present, but it is effectively locked away. The Lipika create an impassable barrier between the personal ego, the I we think we are, and the impersonal self, the divine spark. The spark is pure, but the vehicle it inhabits, the human mind and body, is constructed of the impure matter within the ring. The spiritual goal of evolution is to purify the lower self so that it can eventually pass the ring. As one commentary notes, the divine spark must eventually break through this ring-pass knot to attain the first cosmic initiation, moving from the projected universe of illusion into the noumenal cosmos of reality. This ring, or ring-pass knot, isn't something that science can see through a telescope. It is more akin to a tension band brought on by the circumference and diameter. The circumference and diameter create the tension, or torque. This is pi, and pi is infinite. Pi will never be a whole number, so it goes on and on. It is this on and on that seems more like a perpetual machine, a machine that keeps the tension, and it is this tension that is the ring. The wisdom of this world is indeed foolishness, because it is wisdom derived entirely from data gathered inside the ring, data that is, by definition, illusory and impermanent. So, now you know.